This week on the Erotic Awakening Podcast, episode 766, Relationship Styles Involving Groups, South Dakota, Jay Wiseman Sale, and Free Shipping on Kinkstarter Cards. Welcome to Erotic Awakening, an exploration of all things erotic. If you are offended by adult topics or prohibited by law, I recommend you stop listening right now. First, a heartfelt thanks to the amazing patrons of Erotic Awakening, each and every one of you. Your support keeps this podcast, the longest running kink podcast, on the air. This week, a special welcome to our newest supporter, KS Moon. I'm so glad you're here, and thanks for all your support. If you'd like to help support the show, consider becoming a patron. Just visit patreon.com/erotic awakening today. Hi, everyone. I'm Dawn, and I'm here this week to continue the conversations on power exchange, polyamory, sacred sexuality, and simply fun kink. So this week on the podcast, I would like to talk about relationship styles that are mentioned on FetLife that have to do with groups of people. I know over the years, and even when we started our own house Meta, for a group of our closest friends, Power Exchange friends, we had a hard time coming up with, are we going to use house? Are we going to use tribe? Are we going to use, and there's a lot of words that people use. Some people like to do the more traditional house, leather house, family, things like that. Others like to come up with new words or something that's a little unusual, or maybe something that fits a little better with what their group of people is. So I'm going to go over a few of these. The first one I like to mention is house. That seems to be very popular. And if you go to a leather event, some kink events, but most leather events, you'll see people with their leather vest, or like my denim vest, and they will have back patches, which means they'll have patches sewn on the back of their vest. Many of them are the names of houses. Some of them are title back patches. Some of them are for other things. I actually have one for the podcast. And, well, okay, I have one for the podcast, but only because my leather ones are in storage right now. I have my title vest, I have my house vest, and I have my Power Exchange Summit event vest. So anyway, back patches. We should talk about that sometime. But one of the first ones that I got was the House Meta back patch. So you'll see these at kink events. What house does a person belong to? Now, we also had friends that were part of our house that also had their own other group of people, and they used the word clan. So some of these descriptions of these different words are going to sound the same, but people have a different feeling attached to them, and that's why they use them. So first, house. House is kind of leather traditional. Sometimes you'll hear house, sometimes you'll hear family, leather house, things like that. Like I said, we had house meta years ago. It's retired now. This term is often used, the term house, is often used to describe members of a chosen family rather than a non-chosen biological family. A house can be used to describe a collection of people, sometimes in a hierarchical relationship structure, sometimes not. And these people share the same space. So whether it's in real life or virtually, house structures may sometimes involve the use of relationship terminology from vanilla family nomenclature, such as mother, father, brother, sister. So sometimes, let's say, okay, this is a funny one. So in House Meta, we had the lead master, Dan. But we also had other masters in the house. Now, Dan was leader of the group. He was not leader over these other masters or even slaves or submissives, right? He ran the group. other masters in the group could be seen as brothers or sisters. So if I was still part of House Meta, I would ask Master Sherry and say, Master Sherry, would you mind if I list you as a sister to me in our house, even though she was a master? So people do houses in their own way, and they can do it differently from other people. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Now, you also heard me mention leather family. Now, this is a group of people who have bonded through the leather lifestyle and have decided to join together as a family. A leather family usually has structure and protocols in place. That one can be a bit different than house, but doesn't have to be. Another word many use is tribe. So, tribe used to describe a group of people who have formed close bonds based on similar outlooks, interests, vibes, etc. For some people, this word does not work for them, but like any word, it's multidimensional. All right, pack. You will hear pack a lot. A pack can have multiple meanings within the lifestyle. Primarily, it's tied to primal play or pet play, where a group of people or a pack is connected with one another. Types of connections are defined within the specific group. So labels and titles and dynamics and hierarchy and things like that. Within a pack, the pack gets to decide what labels they're going to use, what relationship dynamics are involved in that group. Now, I was kind of excited because they also have the word coven, the relationship style of coven. Now, I've belonged to a coven before, and yes. So in a kink context, a coven might refer to a relationship between a group of witches. Not only witches use covens, but that's where the word originated. Covens often have a hierarchical structure with a leader or high priest or priestess and members who specialize in various magical practices. So that's what I like. Not everybody that has magical practices in their life consider themselves witches, but coven is kind of linked to that. Now, they also mentioned that a coven could be like a circle. So I started looking through the list for circle, and it's actually not an option. I think I want to put out to FET that I want that as an option. I have a group of friends that we consider ourselves a circle, not necessarily a coven. We are a circle of women that offer each other support. Most of us also practice magic, not all of us. So I like circle. I used to run a spiritual circle, non-kink related. I had kink people in the circle, but also non-kink people. That's why I like the word circle. Chosen family. You heard me say that one already. Chosen family refers to a group of people who form close family-like bonds by choice rather than through biological or legal relationships. In kink, BDSM, and polyamory, it often includes partners, friends, play partners, and community members. I have a huge chosen family across the country, and I almost feel like starting that in FET, but I have so many. Some people, they don't care. They want a long list on FET. So whatever works. I will see what I'll be doing with my profile. You also heard me talk about clan. In BDSM, a clan refers to a group of people connected through a shared dynamic, identity, or relationship structure. Unlike a formal BDSM house, a clan is usually less hierarchical and more community-based. Members may share similar roles, such as submissives, dominants, or switches. Um, my experience tells me a clan can be what you want it to be. The clans that I've known of, there was some hierarchy in there, but not a lot, but still hierarchy. It was just as formal as the formal house that we ran. Use the words that resonate with you. All right, crew. I hear crew a lot. Usually, not always, but usually this has to do with a group of people that put on events together, right? In Columbus, you have the Guilty Pleasures crew. They put on events together. There may be relationships within that group of people, but that's not what the group is about. Again, use it how you need to. Now, the last one is the one that caught my attention when I was going through the list of relationship styles. I don't know that I'm going to pronounce this right because I never took French, so just go with it. The way I'm looking at it, it looks like it's probably pronounced coterie. Okay, so let me describe it, and then if you know it to be pronounced differently, feel free to reach out to me. So a coterie is a small, close-knit, often exclusive group of people brought together by a shared interest, theme, or purpose, like all the other groups. In kink and roleplay communities, the term is often used for a bonded group of players. It's most common in vampire, gothic, or fantasy-themed scenes where the group sees themselves as a tight inner circle. So the word is French, like I said, and originally meant a small group of people who share a close space or purpose. It became popular later in vampire fiction, especially Vampire the Masquerade, and adopted by kink and roleplay communities to describe, for the third time, tight-knit, closed groups with a shared theme or identity. So again, it was a word I had not heard of before, so I was like, "Oh!" And then I read the description of the word, and at the bottom, it had similar words like house, tribe, clan, and I'm like, "Oh, I can talk about words to be used for groups of people in the kink community." Now, if you have another word, people are always looking for new terms, new words, something that resonates a little bit more than what's offered, right? People are always looking for words to describe power exchange roles and polyamory roles, kink roles, things like that. If you have a different term for a group of people in the kink community, please let me know. And I'm going to tell you later in the show how you can get a hold of me. So, I just got back from a lot of driving. Again, I was going out to camp out in South Dakota. It's a 17-hour drive, so I did get a hotel one night on the way out. And then after that event, which was lovely and amazing with some beautiful people, by the way, it was hotter than hell, but it was a really good experience. And I got to play with somebody new that I've known for a very long time. That was a lot of fun. Anyway, after that event, I crossed the state, which is 5 hours long, and spent some time sightseeing because I'd never been over there before. Visited the boyfriend who is parked there for the moment and his wife and had a great time. I got to see Mount Rushmore, the Devil's Tower, Crazy Horse, and an amazing little warehouse museum of dinosaur bones and fossils and stones. And I don't know if you guys know how much I resonate with Grandmother Spider. Anybody that's done my energy classes or my sacred sexuality classes or my POTQ classes or anything like that, every now and then I mention my relationship with Grandmother Spider. In that museum, I came across a disc that had been carved of Grandmother Spider. It was amazing. So, yes, had a great time in South Dakota. On the way back, it was a 22-hour drive because 17 plus 5, 22, to get back to Indianapolis. So I tried to see how, I tried to see how young my body still was to see if I could do that drive straight back. Um, I did it. I don't know that I'll ever do that again. So I did it. The experience has been accomplished. I did a 22-hour drive by doing what I call leapfrogging. And that means you drive 4 hours, you rest for one. You drive 4 hours, you rest for one. At one of the truck stops I stopped at, I rested for 2.5. But, so I made the whole trip back without getting a hotel room, which saved me a bit of money, which is awesome. And I proved I could do it. And again, I do not want to do that again because the next day I was supposed to be doing Gen Con, and instead I slept all day. So a hotel room in the middle is a good idea. Or stopping with friends. I do that a lot too. I stop with friends, podcast listeners, things like that. So I just wanted to mention South Dakota. Oh my gosh. I added it to my list of things that I've accomplished in the last year. I actually wrote an article about that on my FetLife profile of what I've accomplished in the last year, and that South Dakota trip was definitely on there. All right, I'm in the works with a couple of events. It's already August, and I've still got events that I'm putting together in 2026. I will be adding new places to this list of upcoming events. Anyway, if you would like to share a cup of coffee or conversation or talk about group words or anything like that, here's where you can find me in person. I'll be at Libertine in Southern Indiana, Labor Day weekend, where I will be presenting and vending, and it's a camping event. So, going to have fun with that. Then I'll be at Seek, which is a submissive retreat in Wisconsin, October 8th through 11. I think I'm at least facilitating rituals. We'll see what else happens with that. Satyricon in Madison, November 8th. I'll be vending. Wisconsin Leather Pride, also in Madison, the following weekend, November 13 through 15, where I am presenting. Kink Holiday Bazaar in Chicago, November 21st, also vending. More info to come as the details get ironed out. And then keep up with all the places I'm presenting or vending, my online classes and intensives, book news discounts, and more via the Erotic Awakening newsletter. And when you sign up for the newsletter, get your EA shout out like Jay in Pittsburgh and Eve in Milwaukee. Head over to eroticawakening.com and subscribe to the newsletter today. Well, I spend a lot of time on FetLife. I do. It's my life. I don't always post a lot. I don't always reply a lot. I don't post anything to the groups except the groups that I run, but I do pay attention to stuff. And every once in a while, something comes across my feed that I am like, ooh, I need to get that out there on my platform. And one of those was a writing written by Jay Wiseman. Now, many of you are going to know Jay Wiseman, or at least his name, and I asked his permission if I could call him an elder. And since he's in his late 70s, he says yes, that kind of works. It's okay. So Jay Wiseman is an elder of the kink community. He wrote SM 101, which many of us recommend to newbies in the community. So SM 101, he's got his bondage books and he's done some amazing stuff over the years in the community. Now, his writing had to do with the fact that he's come across a hardship. So he needs meds, very expensive meds. So what he's going to do and what he has done is started a sale on his website. And this sale includes his books. It includes consults with him. He's a very knowledgeable person, and a few other items. So if you want to support Jay and help him out, then I highly recommend going over to his store, which I will have in the show notes, going over to his store and checking out his stuff and helping him out that way. Now, if you want to read the story as to why he's having the sale, a little bit more detail, check out his writing on FET, and I'll have a link to that in the show notes as well. And then I wanted to mention that Jay is actually one of the first people that we interviewed for the Erotic Awakening podcast. He was interviewed way back on episode 6. Just to remind you, this episode is episode 766, and he was on episode 6 from February of 2009. So again, another link on the show notes for that interview with him many, many years ago. So much stuff this week, it feels like, but it's probably just because I'm doing all the talking. So the other thing that I wanted to mention, Jay's having a sale. Well, I'm also having a sale in the way of Kinkstarter Cards. Whenever I go to an event, I tell people you can only find Kinkstarter Cards from the Erotic Awakening website or me in person. I have these cards on me in person, whether you buy from the website or buy when I'm vending, they come from me. I carry these with me. Well, I am close to my storage unit where I keep my cards, except the box that I have in my car. But I keep these cards in my storage unit. I'm close by. So let's have a sale on the Kinkstarter cards. And what I'm going to do is offer free shipping. Believe it or not, that's a big sale because shipping a single deck of cards costs anywhere from $7 to $11, depending where I'm at in the country and where you're at in the country. Crazy. So that is a savings that you get. Free shipping on Kinkstarter cards. Another link in the show notes. All right, let's wrap this puppy up. If you want to get in contact with me, I can be found at Dawn_Awakening or Erotic_Awakening on FetLife. Erotic Awakening on Instagram, EA Podcast Dawn on TikTok, or just email me at dawn@eroticawakening.com. Be a part of the Erotic Awakening podcast community. You can become a patron of the show and get early access to the podcast, a free copy of the audiobook Polyamory Toolkit, free ebooks, deck of Kinkstarter cards, discounts on monthly Zoom classes, member-only Discord, not safe for work channel, and more. Find all the goodies at patreon.com/erotic awakening today. And did you know there are Kinksters that haven't heard of the show? Help others find Erotic Awakening. Give us high ratings wherever you listen to the podcast, and most importantly, tell your friends. Join the conversation with other listeners. Use the links from the Erotic Awakening website for our interactive Discord channel, open to all listeners. Until next time, may your journey be filled with passion, joy, and a bit of naughtiness. Bye, everyone.